it's interesting how by reading the local press, you can get a certain impression of a situation, and then when you draw the camera back,
Yes.
it's only then you realise that the situation is a local one
Mm.
and not quite the world crisis you thought it might have been.
Mm.
Right?
Yes.
This was made clear yesterday at the United Nations.
Mm.
Ukraine and the EU crafted a statement condemning Russia and its aggression.
Okay.
And also they included, isn't Putin just a terrible person in this declaration?
Yeah, of course, yeah, yeah, yeah.
This statement was put to the Assembly for a vote to be backed by all the UN member nations. Talk about a damp squib. Presented by the EU Foreign Affairs Chief Kaja Kallas
Yeah.
and Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andrei Sybiga.
Yeah.
Declaration, excuse me, the declaration claimed that Russian action against Ukraine violated the UN Charter.
Mm. Yes.
Also called the global community to put pressure on Russia and support Ukraine's sovereign territory.
Mm.
The proposal received only 36 votes of the 193 UN members.
Oh dear. Yes.
Or to put it in another words, roughly around about 5%.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, Ukraine voted positive.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
the proposed it. The UK, the EU member states, or did except for Hungary,
Yeah.
Albania, Andorra, Australia, Bosnia and Herzegovina,
Yeah.
Canada, Japan, Monaco, New Zealand, Norway,
Mm.
and the UK.
Yes.
That's all that's voted in favour
Yeah.
back in. So, of that little lot, two are principalities. They're not even countries.
Mm.
So Andorra and Monaco.
Yeah.
Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the UK are Five Eyes nations.
Right. Yes.
So where we go one, we go all.
Yeah. I got that. Yes.
And only Norway, Japan, Albania, and Bosnia, what I could call independent states.
Mm.
Got a mind of their own.
Yes.
The US abstained from the vote. Now, an abstention is the same as a no vote, as
Yeah.
it doesn't support the motion.
Yes. Mm.
So basically, the rest of the world told Ukraine and EU to pound sand. Right, and that's how they say it in the US.
Yeah. Yeah. Bounce in. Yeah. Right.
They're not really all that interested.
Mm.
Might give a bit of lip service every now and then,
Mm.
say,
Yeah.
"Oh, isn't it a bad thing?"
Mm.
But when they were asked to take a stand, they just didn't want to know.
Mm. Well, yeah. Get drawn into.
Of course, Russia was happy about the results and claimed it was a victory for common sense.
Well, yeah.
The Russian deputy envoy to the UN, Dmitry Polyansk, said more people realize the true colors of the Zelensky regime.
Mm.
With a bit of context, back in February, Ukraine and the EU also tried to promote a resolution similar to this one, and it was also rejected. Right? Then the US made a counter proposal that Russia would not be classed as an aggressor and that a quick peace deal should be done.
Yes.
This was adopted, of course, with the European nations present. They voted against, of course. Russia has consistently said that the conflict in Ukraine is a proxy war with Western Europe. And this ties in, of course, to some of the podcasts we've done recently about, what's going to happen in the near future. Even American economist Jeffrey Sachs said that European NATO members' increasing hostility toward Russia is undermining the possibility of a peaceful settlement of the Ukraine conflict.
Yeah.
He said that yesterday. He highlighted a peace deal which was scuppered by Boris Johnson in 2022, we've also mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Europeans are in an absolute state of warmongering, he said, which is also very dangerous. What could be peace continues with war. And this is a failure of American politics. He didn't hold back, and a failure of European top politics also. So basically, the rest of the world doesn't want to know. Right? It's a very isolated thing. It's just Europe that the EU that is trying to, according to the rest of the world, it's the EU who is trying to keep this this sore septic.
Yeah.
Because they keep on picking it, and they just don't want to. They don't want to put a band-aid. They just want to keep on picking the scab. And there you have it. Well, 193 nations, from the UN.
Well, okay. Other than we'll get back to it. It is a squabble about where a local garden fence is going to go, and I'll keep using that analogy. That's all it is. That's all it is. Why does it affect anyone in America, really? Okay, it's a little bit more serious. There are thousands of people dying, and on both sides, and that's not lost on me.
But it isn't the rest of the world that's caused it.
No, no. I mean, if we didn't know each other a few years ago, but if we'd have been discussing it, deciding and saying, well, the motions of NATO and the EU is going to cause Russia to do something rather drastic at some point in the near future. And this would have been in 2018. I didn't know you then. Yeah. And we'd have both been absolutely correct. Yeah. When they said about Russia, when the next day when I heard that Russia had gone into Ukraine, I wasn't shocked. Yeah. It's not a case of pick me up off the floor. Wow. And okay, we got to feel sorry for people that are being killed on both sides and losing relatives on all sides. Yeah. And that's the human factor. Unfortunately, with geopolitical politicians and the political elite and everything else, they are the least of the concerns, if there are concerns at all. Yeah.
That's what's called the lip service.
Yeah.
Isn't it bad? Isn't it horrible?
Well, I agree. And I will say, Mr. Putin, can you please stop what you're doing there? And yeah, I'd like there to be peace in the Ukraine. Yeah. Hey, I've said it. I'd like there to be peace in the Ukraine. Yeah. Can we all please stop killing each other and find a way forward? Yeah, I mean, this is it. While you're going to be saber rattling against Russia, that is not a threat to the rest of Europe. I'm certainly not a threat to the rest of the world. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if Russian troops start to come up at the beach at where I live now and then intimidate me, I might be a little bit objectionable to that. Yeah. But really, I mean, what happens there? What I see on YouTube, reels that may or may not be true. Yeah. I don't know. I watch some things that look pretty horrific, and I've just come to the conclusion: the more horrific they look, the probably less likely they are to be actual reality. And was horrific. Yeah, I understand that. I'm not decrying anything. And yeah, and when you get Ukrainians cheering or people cheering, oh, look at this Russian guy just being killed. Here's a guy with his hands up like that, watching this drone come down. That's spectacular. Explain to me why. Yeah, but that's the reality. The actual reality of it all is, yes, there is a saber rattling against a country that is still quite capable of causing problems, no doubt about it. Russia. Yeah. If Russia didn't want Ukraine to exist any longer, Ukraine would not be existing any longer. Yeah.
Sure.
That's the bottom line. Okay, we can argue about the Crimea. The people in the Crimea, and this I realized this a long time ago, pre-2014, when I saw a report, don't want to be Ukrainians. Right. They're not particularly over enamored about being called Russians directly. but they're not. They certainly don't want to be Ukrainians. They have more sympathy with the Russians than they do with the Ukrainian people. And they've been treated very badly by the Ukrainians. So when yes, you said, you've got to step back. It's a local issue. Yeah. Why are we now worrying about, why do we in Brazil, for example, worry about it? Most Brazilians are leading their life, and which is where we're looking from the inside, from the outside in. Most Brazilians are carrying on with their lives. Yeah. They are being.
And that's why look. This is why I said that if you see it in a limited scope, everybody in that region, are thinking, it's it could be the end of the world, when it is a very isolated case.
Yeah.
When you look at it in the big, as a big picture.
Yeah.
So where you got all the Europeans all worried about, will we go into war and all this? They think there's going to be world war. It may not be.
Well,
it may be a local thing.
I mean, everyone's talking about China. I don't think the Chinese are particularly over worried about it. In all honesty, I mean, it could actually play in their favour, and by not being involved, America. I mean, Trump is not at all interested, really. He's trying to stop killing. He's spoken like us. I want the people on the ground to stop dying. If their leaders don't want them to stop dying, what can he do? All he can do is go in and
Trump said in his speech, he said, "Look, the Europeans are going to be supplying arms. They're buying the arms from us."
Yeah.
He's quite happy for that.
Yeah. Yeah.